Their net income last year was $12 billion. That's actually down. This is overpriced. But the question is it? Are you okay with that? That's something I want you to research. That's a lot. Walmart stock, guys, this company's been around for a long time. Here's an example of a low margin business that has a very, very high moat, a very amazing network of stores, and a brand that's built for the everyday person and growing. So I like businesses with high margins, but I'm okay with businesses with low margin as long as the price is cheap enough and the moat is big enough. And that's what Walmart has. So we're gonna look at Walmart right now in our software. So I'm pulling it up. So guys, $400 billion market cap. And this is the example I always give. If I wrote you a check today for $400 billion and say, go replicate Walmart, I think you'd have a hard time doing so. And that tells me the moat that Walmart has. You're not going to have an easy time replacing Walmart if I gave you a check for $400 billion, right? Now, that low margin, it basically averages 2%, a little over 2%. And this is something that a lot of people don't believe. When I ask random people, what do you think Walmart's margins are? They're like 40%. I'm like, no, 2%. So when I hear people saying, Walmart doesn't pay enough, guys, they got 3 million employees or something absurd like that. If they paid everybody $2 an hour more and everybody works an average of 20 hours, do the math. It's billions and billions of dollars. Do they make billions? Absolutely. Their net income last year was $12 billion. That's actually down. Their 5-year PE is 33. Their 1-year PE is 34. This is expensive.
That's expensive.
Now, their return on invested capital is decent. It's 10%.
Yeah, it's not.
But that's not the right home about.
Right.
So I look at this saying, you got to pay a cheap price for Walmart. And this 30 plus PE is factoring in a lot of high ROIC, high growth potential. I don't see it here in Walmart. So I'm not going to think to myself, this is overpriced. But the question is it? Mm-hmm. We don't know. Yeah. So Mo, what do you have right here?
So I was on Instagram yesterday. Walmart plans to have almost 65% of its stores automated by 2026. Look at this. 55% of fulfillment center volume to be automated. That's crazy.
This is what you get for higher minimum wage. You get automation.
Will lead to less physical roles with higher pay rates, and Walmart anticipates increased productivity while maintaining its increasing its workforce due to the roles.
So guys,
this is $15 an hour, $16 an hour, 20, whatever. And
remember, if Walmart's able to shave 1% off its costs, it increases their profit margin by 50%. That's how big that is for them.
It's amazing. I mean, we're talking about this in Walmart. We've already seen
Amazon.
McDonald's go to
McDonald's, yeah.
They have an automated store now, period.
When I go to McDonald's and I go inside the store, I always go to the kiosk.
Always.
I just go boop, boop, boop,
There's
boop,
some
boop,
of them where you walk up to the kiosk. I mean, you walk up to the counter and then you got to order on the kiosk.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love that.
I've encountered that twice.
Have you really?
Yeah. It's awesome.
I love McDonald's.
It's accurate.
Filet-O-Fish, cheeseburger, chicken nuggets, Diet Coke.
They have McDonald's in some Walmarts.
Do they?
Yeah. Subways, McDonald's.
Subways are big.
Yep.
All right, so let's check out the 8 pillar. Well, let's look at the income statement real quick because I want to check out the profit. I thought the profit had been higher. So this is the revenue for Walmart. Again, it's growing because they're opening more stores. Inflation's going to help Walmart because they're going to pass those costs on to its users. But it's growing. Now let's look at their profit. Now, here's the deal. Before COVID, so their year ended January of 2020, so literally the month before COVID, they had record profit, almost record. Yeah, no, they had record profit back here. Whoops. But it's been pretty sideways for a while. In fact, decreasing. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you right now, Walmart's not going to put up with that. In 2014, they made $16 billion on $476 billion in revenue. Now, if I told you that 10 years later, they'd have had, what is that, 30 or 40% more revenue and less profit, you'd be like, come on. That's what happened. Now, they did have a $1.5 billion write-off this year. They had a $5.5 billion write-off last year. They had an $8 billion write-off a few years ago. So that's affected it. That's something I want you to research. I don't like when I see these, all of a sudden, in the last few years, big write-offs. Have they made acquisitions that didn't work out and they were writing them down? I don't know. That's something really, really important to figure out. Very important to figure out. All right.
So
go ahead, Mo.
Crazy stat that I saw today. Between Walmart and Sam's Club, they are within 10 miles of 90% of households in America.
Wow.
Isn't that nuts? Wild
wow.
Stat.
Let's look at their cash flow statement, Mo. Actually, their cash flow pretty much was right in line with their average free cash flow last year, 5 years, was $16 billion, and their average profit in the last 5 years was $12 billion. So cash flow's been better because of those write-offs. Those one-time write-offs were just non-cash expenses. They just sat there and said, hey, we had an asset here. It was worth $10 billion. We're writing it down to $1.2 billion. That's an $8.8 billion write-off. Now, if you want to understand that better, we have over 2,000 videos on this channel. That's the way. Subscribe. Make sure you understand that better. There's a lot of information here, but it's not as bad as it sounds. Trust me. Every single person, the thousands of people in our community started at some point with very little to no knowledge on investing, and now they're in there. So something key to understand here. All right, let's check out their 8 pillars.
They're buying back shares every year.
I don't like that because the stock seems overpriced. Yeah. Guys, we don't like when they buy back shares when the stock's overpriced. And for a 30 PE, it seems a little hefty for a company that has not much growth potential besides inflation, essentially, and income growth. That seems kind of poopy, right?
Yeah.
All right, high PE, reasonable ROIC. Is it worth? The ROIC is going to drive your PE, by the way. That's going to help drive. So the funny part is, their ROIC is 10%, Mo. And usually in high moat businesses, you see much higher. But I guess you'd sit there and argue maybe there are other options for people. They can go to Target. They can go to all these other stores, Aldi's.
Local places,
stores.
Whatever, yeah.
But Walmart has great pricing.
It's true.
Okay, now, is their profit down because of these increasing costs lately? Maybe so. It's going to take some time maybe to increase their profit margin and get back up. But you still need to pay a reasonable price for the company. So even if you think their profit margin's down lower than it should be, you still can't pay 35 times profit necessarily for that. So what's the reasonable amount to pay? Let's check it out. Let's go to analyst estimates first. So analysts are expecting big jumps in their earnings per share. They're expected to make $6 a share here this year, getting up to almost $9 a share. That's about a 40% increase in the next 4 or 5 years. Mo, what's their stock price currently?
Current price is $150.
This is currently selling for about 16 times profit in January in 2028. That's a lot. 16 times profit 5 years from now. That's a lot. Are you okay with that? Would you pay today that price for a company that was available with the same prospects as Walmart? That hopefully 5 years from now, you're making 6% of your money. That's a hard one to swallow, guys. Let's look at their revenue growth potential, according to analysts.
Sucks.
Yeah. Low single digits. Look at this. Very low single digits. Man. Now, if inflation's higher and higher, it'll probably drive that up. But it's going to take some time.
Yep.
So guys, if you like the software, you like everything we've seen so far, all of our tools available right here, community, and now our stock analyzer tool, which will tell us what price to pay for Walmart based on our assumptions, go to everythingmoney.com, $7, 7 days, $1 per day. That's it. If I asked you for $1 every single day just to give to me, you would never ask for it back. You would forget about it. This is going to change the way in which you view money and investing. I guarantee that. Thousands of people in the community can verify that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do our analysis on Walmart. I'm going to do a 20-year analysis. Mo's going to do a 10-year analysis. We're going to input our assumptions for revenue growth, profit margin, free cash flow margin, our PE and price of free cash flow in the future, and then our desired return. And it's going to spit out what we need to pay for Walmart, not including the balance sheet, today to get those returns. So just hang on 1 second. We'll be right back. All right, guys. So we both made our assumptions. I remember mine's a 20-year assumption. I had to go much further in the future. Mo's was 10. Mo, what did you do for revenue growth? This is actually hard.
This was really hard. 2, 3.5, and 5.
So I did 2.5, 4, and 5.5. And the reason being, Mo, they should be able to do inflation all day.
That's why I was so hesitant about starting with 2.
Yeah, so I'm okay with this.
But
this is a very wide range. Look at this wide range, 2.5 to 5. And by the way, guys, 5.5% of revenue growth for 20 years involves higher inflation as well as massive growth in emerging markets like China, India, and even maybe Africa at that point.
Yeah, I had a hard time with this one, and I had a hard time with this one.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
Profit margin.
2, 2.25, and 2.5.
I did 2.2, 2.6, and 3.
Okay.
Because I think they can get back to these levels if they are able to stabilize things. Free cash flow margin?
Free cash flow, I did 2, 2.5, and 3.
I did 2.2, 2.6, and 3. Even though you're right, free cash flow was higher,
a little bit higher
over the last few years.
Yeah.
PE.
PE and price to free cash flow, 15, 16, 17.
I did 15, 16.5, and 18. I do think Walmart deserves a premium to that stuff. Mm-hmm. Desired return.
I did 10, 12, and 14.
I did 9, 11, never forget, and 13. All right. So I did do lower than the market, but I think these assumptions here are very, very low. So I'm okay with a lower return on very low assumptions. I do think this is what's going to happen, or this is probably more likely to happen. So I'm okay, but I want to own an individual stock. I need to get some sort of return for that. And I'm okay with 11%. Now for really high assumptions, I needed my 13%.
Yeah.
So we hit the analyze button. Boom. I got a low price of 77, high price of 100, middle price of 90.
My low price is 62, middle price of, call it 75, and high price 79 and 94. Watch list at 70. It's a hard one for me.
So it needs to fall pretty hard.
Yeah, in half.
And I'm actually going to add it to my watch list at $90. I'm going to change my watch list from $80 to $90.
Right.
So it's going to notify me in the software. Guys, everythingmoney.com. Check it out. $7, 7 days. You won't regret it. Thank you for your time.